My name is Jimmy Kelleher. I'm your author and your narrator for Brockton Novellas podcast. Join me for Act 1, Episode 1. Come get in the car with me and Jackie and his girlfriend, and let's go to the Westgate Mall. And let's get into Wilson's Leather. And let's get caught up in this material world as he gets pulled into this world, and nothing can stop him from getting that leather jacket.
The story begins at the Westgate Mall. No, let me go back. My brother had his girlfriend with him, Liz Anderson. She wore high heels almost everywhere she went. Walking to the mall would be 1.5 miles. She would never last, especially in this hot New England sun. We needed a ride. My brother was going to let me go with him and his girlfriend to the mall. Biking was not an option. I couldn't ride my dirt bike, nor could I skateboard. Both my parents were out. My mother, she was at Shaw's shopping, and my father was at his office. There was only one car in front of our house that day, and that was Patty's Ford Probe. A day prior, my brother Jackie had found some darts in one of the junk drawers in the kitchen and decided to dick around with them. If I had to describe the next part of the story in a courtroom setting, I guess I would do it like this. My sister Patricia was sitting on the couch minding her own business when my brother, out of nowhere, took it upon himself to throw a dart. He threw the dart, basically lobbing it into the air. That dart landed directly in between Patty's eyebrows. We all looked at her in shock. Time stood still. We creeped up to her slowly, all of us. Her face was white with fear. Jackie reached out his hand in front of her face and pulled the dart as quick as he could. Patty got up from the couch. Tears fell from her face, and she ran upstairs, crying. Unbelievably. My brother Jackie seemed to be good at a lot of things, from sports to dancing to even fashion. But when it came to making this amend to my sister Patty, after almost attempting to murder her the day before, I don't think it was in the cards. My brother Jackie and I got together with his girlfriend Liz, and collectively we agreed to send me in. Patty was out in the sunroom at this time. She was coming in from having a cigarette on the porch. It's to be noted for the record that almost every Kelleher in the family smoked cigarettes and had permission to smoke cigarettes. I personally got permission to smoke cigarettes at the age of 14 over a poo-poo platter at Waylou's on the south side of Brockton. I caught up with Patty in the sunroom, and I came right out with it. My 11-year-old self looking up at her, who wasn't that much taller than me. None of the Kelleher girls were blessed with height. And I said, Patty, there's only one car in that driveway today, and it's yours. I ask you, can Jackie and myself and Liz borrow your car to go to the Westgate Mall? I would invite you, but I think things are still a little tense between you and Jackie right now. Would it be okay if Jackie drove me to the mall? This would be a favor for me, and has nothing to do with Jackie. He is merely a pawn in my game to get to the mall. Fine. The keys are on the counter. I had no idea it would be this easy. Patty could have such a forgiving heart. I took Patty's keys victoriously, and I walked up the stairs. I knocked on the bedroom door to the room that I shared with my brother Jackie. I knew he had his girlfriend in there, and I had no idea what I'd be walking into. I was accompanied by the family dog Baron. We piled into Patty's Ford Probe, backed out of the driveway of Augusta Ave, and headed to the Westgate Mall. As we drove, rumors from the group Club Nouveau played on the radio. As we passed the Westgate lanes and putt-putt, and there it was, the Westgate Mall. We parked in front of Jordan Marsh and made our way in. We entered through the glass doors, passing the sneakers where my Aunt Mary has taken me on a few occasions to buy sneakers. My brother Jackie took his comb from his back pocket and began to comb his hair as he walked, with myself and Liz Anderson in tow. Making our way through the mall, past the dress barn, the tobacconist, Strawberries Records and Tapes, and there it was, Wilson's Leather. Jackie crossed over the carpet and was immediately greeted by his sales associate, who he shushed away like he owned the place, like he was the CEO of Wilson's Leather. Liz's attention was caught by the women's leather jackets, and Jackie and I proceeded over to a leather duster. Jackie put it on, wrestling with the security tag inside of it. He managed to get it on, and he stood in front of the mirror. My brother Jackie was the working man's Kevin Bacon, draped from shoulder to ankle in black leather. There was no doubt this jacket just wasn't classy. It was beautiful. But it was springtime in Brockton, Massachusetts, and it would be hot. And this jacket was just impractical. It was put back on its hanger. This wasn't time to get too philosophical, but have you ever heard that saying, the kingdom of heaven is within? That everything that we need is already inside of us. This was a perfect example of that. Jackie had turned around after putting the leather duster back, and boom, there it was. It was a black leather jacket, came to the hip. It had zippers in the front, zippers that were at an angle facing down towards the crotch. Had small pockets on the side and a small little collar. Jackie went after this jacket, and I thought the whole display was going to fall over. First jacket in the front was a small. Then there was a medium. There was only one left. There was 3 on the display. The other one was a small as well. This can't be. Jackie turned around, and he looked at me. He looked over at the counter where the sales associate, who he'd come to know as Renee, Jackie had to go make an amend. This would be his second amend of the day. He treated her like such a non-person, and now he had to go back like nothing had ever happened, like he didn't shush her away because he needed something, and he needed it bad. Jackie made his way to the counter. He had the jacket with him in his hands. He held it up. He smiled at Renee. And he said, "Excuse me, but could you go in the back and see if you have this in a large?" Renee held up a finger, turned around, and walked to the back to the storeroom. Felt like she was in there for an hour, but it was only 5 minutes. When she reappeared, under white plastic was this jacket in a large. It was everything he needed and wanted, Jackie. I could see him now in front of 7-Eleven wearing this jacket, standing in front of somebody else's car like the car was his, smoking a cigarette. I could see him walking up Pleasant Street. He looked like a rock star. This jacket had to be his. Renee hung the jacket on a display. She pulled the plastic off like she was revealing a brand new invention never seen by mankind. She handed the jacket over to Jackie. He put it on, and he 360'd in that jacket and stood in front of the mirror, not saying a word. Fantasy rolled through his head. He was in a fashion blackout, we'd come to learn. Jackie looked down at the sleeves of the jacket. There was no price tag. He looked at Liz, who had wandered over to us. He looked at me, and then he looked at Renee. And he looked back at me, and then he looked at Renee. And he said, "This doesn't have a price tag. Do you think you could just let me have it?" Renee chuckled nervously and went over to the jackets to reveal the price. She came back with another jacket and held the sleeve up with on the end the price tag on it. The jacket was $350. He took the jacket off and he handed it to Renee. He handed it to her like a mother having to give her child away to an orphanage. He walked outside to the planters and he sat down and he lit up a cigarette. I'll just say what we're all thinking. Jackie needs a job. He goes down to the Mutual gas station where we all buy our cigarettes. He asks for an application. Chet, who pumps our gas for all the Kelleher family cars, looks at Jackie, laughs. Jackie walks away pissed off. He goes across the street to Slick Hair, the hair salon where he's a regular face. And he walks up to Rico. And Rico sees him in the mirror as he's cutting this woman's hair. "Jack, what are you doing here?" "Rico, I need a favor. I want to see if you can give me a part-time job, maybe cleaning up, sweeping hair in here." "Jack, right now it's not good. I got 2 more payments on my Miata. I got to keep all the money for myself." Jackie walked out with his head hanging low. He went to 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee. And he looked at the people working behind the counter at 7-Eleven and thought to himself, "No way. I'm not doing this." It was a dark time for Jackie. He's walking back up Augusta Avenue when he sees Marcasiri driving by with Stang and Damon, his Doberman pinchers, their heads hanging out of the car. Mark was heading towards the house. He parked in front. You could see the dogs moving around in the back seat. Mark got out of the car. You could hear the Led Zeppelin playing from his car from 2 blocks away. His back tail lights went off, and the music stopped, and Mark got out. He made his way to the passenger side door and retrieved 2 to-go bags. He opened the back door and grabbed Stang and Damon, 200-pound Doberman pinchers with spike collars, and walked into the house with the to-go bags of food. Jackie walked into the house. Chinese food was spread all over the table. It was like these people had never eaten before. There was rice. There was spare ribs. There were wontons. There was teriyaki sticks. Everybody was eating. Over the talk and the chatter of the Chinese food, Jackie was caught in his own head, thinking about this jacket, when he noticed the menu. Chang Fang. Jackie woke up the next day and made his way down Augusta Ave, past Street Park and the Temple, past the Church of Geometry. He took a right on Belmont Street, past the Christie's Market and the Dairy Queen. And there it was, Chang Fang. Jackie walked in to the glass door and went up to the counter. The woman behind the counter said, "Will you be eating alone, sir?" Jackie looked at her and smiled with as much charm as he could and said, "No, I would like to know if you're hiring." The woman looked at Jackie and went into the back, and out came Mr. Dow. Mr. Dow looked Jackie up and down and said, "We need a dishwasher. $7.50 an hour. If you're late, you're fired."